Exo Travel Thailand. This time I'm going to take you through our Bangkok route down to southern Thailand. This is me. My name is Kim Martin Rasmussen. I've been working here as product manager in Exo Thailand now for the last 4 years. I've been living now in Thailand for 11 years. I've been to pretty much every corner of the country, so you'll be in safe hands during this webinar. First, I'll go through a little bit of what is new in the country. So as you can see here, there's Michelin guide, pocket Wi-Fi, refillable bottles, GPS tracking system, and some new flight routes. The first one is the Michelin guide, which is, as you can see on the year on the book, not new, but the new part will be that Phuket and Phang Nga are going to be added to the guidebook in November 2018, so that's next month. And for those who don't know, then the Michelin guide was launched last year. We have total now 17 Michelin restaurants in Bangkok. Of them got 2 stars, which is the highest ranking we got, and that's Gan, Metzaluna, and Le Normandie. There was one seafood stall named J5 that got a star as well. And then there's another 2 sections in the book that I would like to highlight. There's the Bit Gourmand, which is quality and good value cooking, and then there's the Michelin plates, which are both sections with a lot of interesting restaurants. So in terms of looking for good places to eat in Bangkok, you don't need to only go for the Michelin restaurants. There's also be a lot of other additions in the book. This presentation will be shared afterwards, and then you have the official link if you want to find it online. Pocket Wi-Fi, this is something we introduced about 1.5 years ago, and it works very well for clients because they can be online and share pictures back home with their family and friends, and if they want to check email or whatever during transfers, or even when they're in the restaurant or when they're looking at sites, and upload on all the social media platforms as well. It costs only 1,000 baht per file, so no matter if you travel for 1 week or weeks, you can add in the good Wi-Fi. Actually, 8 people can connect to the same device. It works very well for families as well. This one you can just ask to include in your files, and then we'll happily do it for you. There's also the refillable bottles. That's a project we started about 2 years ago. So now it's sold out to all agents. Basically, you can order the bottle with your logo, and then we can give it to the client when they arrive in the country as a souvenir. If you want to have your logo on it, there's a little extra charge. But if you have big groups and you order more than 500 bottles, then the logo will be for free. So a nice thing to reduce plastic is to use the refillable bottles. GPS tracking is a new law that has been enforced. Now, any registered cars or vans that drive with customers are not allowed to go over the speed limit, and they will be controlled by GPS. So meaning every year when they have to renew their license, when they go to that administrative office, they will not be able to renew if they've been speeding or violating the rules. So that means where some stretches before, to actually be able to make it, you had to go a bit faster. So basically we're not able to do that, and that means a stretch like Supertai to Chiang Rai, which before was put in a lot of programs, is simply not possible. So that one we normally break up with an overnight in Lampang. So just very important info to keep in your notes for when you design products. Flight routes, there's a direct flight to Chiang Mai with Qatar. So for those people who don't want to go to Bangkok for any reason, they can start the trip from Chiang Mai directly from Europe, with connecting in Qatar, of course. But they also fly directly to Phuket and Krabi. There's also a new flight to Mae Hong Son directly with Nok Air, and Bangkok to Da Nang is with Bangkok Airways, so you can connect with the middle part of Vietnam. You also have Chiang Mai now connecting to Luang Prabang with AirAsia and Lao Airlines. And then there is a new flight with Chiang Mai going straight to Hanoi with Bangkok Airways as well. And the last one is the Chiang Rai Phuket destination with Vietjet, the Vietnamese airline. So those are kind of new connections that has popped up over the last year. A little bit about the Exo Thailand strategy for the year. So we trying to be in line with the TAT strategy, and they want to develop food tourism. So we would make more programs with food, and we might gonna make a Michelin food tour when we know the restaurants in Phuket as well and Phang Nga. Also, in terms of brand value, it's talking about Exo encounters, so meeting with local experts or celebrities that knows about their field or topic that they work in. So it can be all from art to politics to food, and then make sure that we can connect with the clients when we go out on a tour. Then there's also tackling waste and sustainability, so that's the refillable bottles, it's reducing paper waste, whatever. And also the government is doing the approach with closing down Maya Bay, which you probably heard on CopyP. They also want to promote, and EXO also want to promote, all the smaller destinations that you can do in connection with the bigger cities. So take, for example, Chiang Mai, and then on the west you have Pai, which could be easily done as a combination of 2 or 3 nights. And then you have on the east of Chiang Mai, you will have, of course, you have Chiang Rai, but you also have a place called Chiang Kham, where you also could do the same kind of tour, 2 days or 3 days. But that is throughout the country. We're looking at those add-on trips that we're going to create. And in terms of increase of tourists to the country, 2017 they had 35 million arrivals. This year we're probably going to end up on 38 million arrivals, and there is a lot of Chinese throughout these numbers. And just to ensure that we can still cope with the European market and the American market as well, then we need to make tours that kind of see the sites in a different way or at a different time, which is important to avoid the masses coming to the temples or the group tours. Okay, so the big topic of the day is the Southern Thailand Nature and Wildlife Tour, which is a 10-day tour. So below here, you can see the link to the tour, so it's on our website, and I tried to share it on the handouts as well. So if you see that, you can grab it. Basically, it's going to be 10 days going from Bangkok down to Khao Sok, and then stop en route, and then I have some hotel suggestions as well. So the unique selling point for this tour is, of course, the beautiful nature and some lesser-known national parks. There is also the visit to Wildlife Friends Foundation, which is done on the first day. There is a lot of natural wonders, incredible wildlife. You will see that when I go through day by day. Local interactions is done on the route as well, especially in Ranong. And very few tourists will actually travel on this stretch, so it will be like off the beaten track destination. We overnight on the floating resort in Khao Sok, which is very nice. And at the end of the tour, you have the opportunity to do island hopping or continue at any of the 4 major beaches. So here you see the routing. It starts from Bangkok down to Hua Hin here. Then we go to Kui Buri, which is a national park with wild elephants. Then continue down to Chumpon. Then we cross overland to Ranong. Then down to Khao Sok, and then at the end you will have Khao Lat, Phuket, Krabi, and Samui as the beach destinations. So that's the routing in short. So day 1, wildlife program at the Friends Foundation. So here you go and visit a foundation that rescued a lot of animals. So there will be all kinds of animals, but the majority will be elephants and gibbon monkeys. And they've either been sick or disabled, or their owner left them. So they can't really cope with being left alone in the nature. So you go here and you interact in a little program where you feed them and you learn about the animals, the reason they came there, what happened to them, and all that. That will be explained by the volunteers working here. So all in all, a nice program. Then we stay overnight at Devasom, which is a new little gem in Hua Hin. It's not new, it's been there for 10 years, but they recently opened up to work with agents. And I went there myself for inspection, and I really loved it. So the resort is quite small, very boutique. And the best part is that the owner is on spot, and the owner's son is the GM. So there's a lot of personal touch and involvement with the local family there, so that the maintenance and the cleanliness of the resort is top-notch. So very nice little boutique resort that you definitely should explore more if you want to have nice stays for your clients. Then on day 2, we drive from Hua Hin down to Khao Samrayot, which is an area just south of Hua Hin. And it's mainly, the Samrayot means 300 peaks. So these are the peaks here, similar to the Krabi landscape. It's very, very beautiful. We go visit a fisherman village. We see how shrimp farming is done. And then we jump on this little boat here. We go across a little cliff in the water, and then we land on a beautiful beach. And then it's time to do a small hike. I would say for almost everyone can do this hike, but of course it's going uphill and it's hot, so you have to note about that. But it's about 45 minutes. You climb up, and then you get rewarded with this beautiful site here, which is the Praia cave, where there's a temple built inside. And if you come and you will arrive there at around 11 o'clock in the morning, you'll get all these sunbeams coming in from the opening in the cave. So very magical experience. Then from there we go and stay overnight at Everson, which is in Pranbury. So that works very well for the routing to continue down south. This is a beautiful resort, and you see the beautiful swimming pool here. It's laid out with a lot of villas and bungalows here, and beautiful beach stretch in front of the resort where almost no clients as well in Pranbury. Then day 3 is the highlight of this 10-day tour, I would say. Again, there's many highlights, but one of the best ones is the wild elephants in Kuruburi. So during the day, we will go to Kuruburi. We will do the community-based tourism. So on the picture you see down here on the left, this is basically one of the things that we will do. This is the lady here taking poo-poo from the elephant, mixing it with pineapple extract, because there's a lot of pineapple farms in this area. And then they turn them into paper and create souvenirs out of them. So that's a very nice approach. Then we also do rubber plantation, get some knowledge about how that is done. And we also do a place where they have coconuts and turn them into bracelets, so we learn about that. Then in the afternoon, you continue down to Kuruburi, and then we go into the national park. I would say it's a family-friendly program, but be aware that the driving in a national park is done in open four-wheel drive trucks like this one, so children should be 6 years or up. There's a 99% chance that you're going to spot some of the wild elephants, because they always come on the same route and they come in the afternoon. And these are real wild elephants. There's no fence, there's no touching, there's no encounters. This is only watching from afar. So a very nice experience, and the best experience, when I try to explain, it's like a safari in Africa. Only with the elephants though. Then the best accommodation in Kuruburi, because now we're down in that region, is the Cross 2 villas. And this one is our preferred option in Kuruburi, so we can stay overnight here. Very beautiful resort, beautiful beach again, but we only stay one night, and then we continue down to Chumpon. Chumpon has a beautiful stretch of beach as well, so all the way from Hua Hin down to Chumpon, it's beaches, unspoiled. In Chumpon, we will do this mangrove walk, where we go out on the wooden bridge that's about 1 kilometer long, and we'll see some wildlife. We'll see the birds, the woodpeckers, butterflies. All this will be around here. Then we go into the city. There's a viewpoint that we're going to see, so you have the whole city from an advantage point. And then we will see a modern shrine that's built in the city as well. Overnight at Novotel, there's not really that many options in Chumpon. So Novotel is a 4-star property, so you know the quality you get when you stay at Novotel, so this one works. There's also Chumpon Cabana, but it doesn't work in terms of the routing, because we will need to cross over to Ranong on the following morning. And when we cross over to Ranong, we have a very interesting encounter with this guy here at Gong Valley, where he roasts coffee. So basically you do the whole process. So you see the plants, you pluck the coffee beans, then you go to the roasting process, and you do the whole thing, and at the end you'll have your coffee. So this takes about 2 to 3 hours to do the whole process. And we do that together with this guy at Gong Valley. So that's a very interesting program. When we arrive in Ranong, we will stay overnight at the Hidden, which is one of the 2 very good resorts in Ranong. And as you can see here, very boutique, small resort with 14 rooms, bungalows, and beautiful swimming pool, and a very nice restaurant. Then next morning, it's a full day in Ranong to learn about the city and do a lot of encounters. So first we meet Mr. Kusun, this guy up here. So he's taking you to this government mansion that's several hundred years old. And there's a lot of artifacts there that he's going to explain about that connects into French people coming to the country, coming to Ranong from Myanmar. And then there is the royal palace that we're going to explore and see how the royal used to live when they lived in Ranong and came on summer holiday and stayed at the palace here. Then we go to meet Mr. Sap. Mr. Sap has his own home, like living museum, where he invites us indoor and he takes us around and explains how the Chinese community in Ranong, he's a descendant of that, used to live and how the houses and rooms and everything is decorated. So very interesting encounter with Mr. Sap. Then in the evening, we go to the lighthouse, go up, take a view. We can see we can see Myanmar from there. And then we go on this beautiful boat here called the Royal Andaman. And it's a bit kitsch because we need to, or the theme is to be dressed up like it's a follow in the footsteps of Rama 5. But it's actually a very beautiful boat. And the 4-course menu that gets served is really high quality. I wasn't expecting to find something like this in Ranong, but this is a dinner boat cruise that we do, and at the end there will be live music, and we'll send out the cartons at the end of the tour. So very nice, beautiful boat ride. Day 7, we're still in Ranong. We're going to do a full day on the sea. And the interesting part about Ranong is that there's not that many tourists. So if you do any island hopping here, you get some beautiful islands. This one here, I would say, is probably the most beautiful one. It's called Koh Tam, and this is where you get the beautiful view, where you walk up to the viewpoint, as I did here, and you see the horseshoe shape. And most customers, travelers, will go to Phuket, Krabi, or Khao Lak and do boat trips there. That's why in Ranong, there's not really that many people doing it. But the best combination is to do Koh Tam, Koh Yibun, which is the Japanese island, and Koh Kangao, which is the that island. So you do those 3 islands in a day, and you have lunch there. When you come back, you relax in Ranong, which is famous for hot springs and the mineral water. So we do that in town, and then we go back to the hotel for a nice dinner, or we go to the walking street if we're there during a weekend. So that's Ranong visit. Day 8, we move down to Khao Sok. So Khao Sok, the idea in this program is we stay on the lake. So we go out to the Chiolan Lake. You have all the towering cliffs here. It's the Guilin of Thailand. When you arrive out there, basically on this day, you will just have a free afternoon at the floating bungalows. This one is called Panrari. And you can do kayaking, you can do swimming, you can do different activities when you're at the resort. It looks like this. We use Panrari the Greenery because it's the most boutique of the resorts out there, and it's the one that offers the best service for our clients. Also in terms of serving the food, it's not a buffet, this is a la carte, serving at the table. And as you can see, Western toilets, showers, and all of this, so it's all very good to use for our clients, and very beautiful backdrop at this resort. Then on day 9, we do a very nice excursion on the Chiolan Lake. So basically, we will go out on these wooden bamboo boats with an engine. And to get here, you first have to trek over a small mountain. Everyone can do it. It's not that difficult. And then you do the boat ride, and then you get to the coral cave where you see stalagmites and stalactites. And that's actually the tour, and then you do it in reverse and back to the resort, the floating resort, where you then relax again. During the morning, you will have a wildlife tour where we go out and we search for wildlife in the morning. I've been doing it 2 times now. Mainly you see birds, but sometimes you will be able to see wild boars or monkeys as well. And you will do the katong as well here on the lake during the evening. That's the 10-day tour, that's the itinerary. And then when we finish on Khao Sok, basically on day 10, you continue to either Khao Lak, Phuket, Krabi, or Samui, and continue the beach stay. I just have one property at each destination, new developments. So in Khao Lak, Devason, this is the same name as the one in Hua Hin that I was explaining about. So they're opening up a resort of 70 rooms in Khao Lak, which is going to be beachfront and very, very beautiful, boutique style. So keep an eye out of this one. That's going to open in about 6 weeks from now, mid of November. And then we have Rosewood, which has been open now for some time, but this is the high-end property in Phuket. It's all about sustainability there. The restaurant, the one you see down in the left bottom here, is actually very nice because they hired the chef from Phuket, and then they work with their family there. So they are sourcing all the ingredients for food from local vendors and local markets to cook. And the resort itself, I think when you compare with the high-end ones like Amanpuri and Trisara, then Rosewood is quite good, because if people are looking for nightlife or a more youthful decoration, then Rosewood will be a nice choice because it's very close to Patong, but it's still far enough away. Then you can make your own decision if you want to go there or not, but it's like you have to do an effort if you want to go into the Patong area. The beach here is not as good as Amanpuri or Trisara, but again, they have their own beach, and it is there. It's acceptable, I would say. Then there's Chelsea Krabi, so that's the new kid on the block in Krabi. The funny thing about this one is that they decided to build on a stretch of beach where there's no other resorts. So when I first heard about it, I was a little bit cautious, because I was like, why are you there when there's no other resorts? But then when I went down for my inspection, I totally understood. It's very beautiful. It's 10 minutes from Ao Nang, so you're kind of remote, but not too far away from the city life, all the restaurants, massage shops, and nightlife if you want to do that. The resort caters for families as well as couples, so you kind of have a mix and division between the two segments. And if you compare with the Top Kak area, then Top Kak is 45 minutes from Ao Nang, so much further away. So Chelsea is about 30% cheaper than Top Kak Boutique, and it's the new kid on the block here in Krabi. And the last one is Cape Phan, which is on Koh Samui. So the cool thing about Cape Phan is that it's located on a little island for itself, so all pool villas, so very high end. And this little beach you can see here, that is actually in low tide, you're able to walk to the main island. And in high tide, they will have an amphibie car. That's one of those cars that can turn into a boat and a car to take you across. So very beautiful new resort with only pool villas. So that can also be considered as a nice new option on Koh Samui. That's it for this time. I hope you enjoyed and got inspired, and now have some ideas about how to travel down south from Bangkok, overland. After we finish, the link to the webinar and the recording will be sent to you, so in a few days. And if you have any further questions, this is my email, kim@exotravel.com, so you're more than welcome to reach out. And otherwise, please stay tuned for the next webinar from Exo Travel. There will be another exciting country coming up very soon.